Hello everyone, in this video we're still going to talk about FortiGate SSL VPN, but this time around we're just going to talk about REMs. Now REMs is actually one of the very fun part of using FortiGate. We can actually have multi-REM on SSL VPN. What that does is that it provides different portal for different user group. Now, imagine when you remote into your VPN, you just type in this URL, whether in the web browser or whatever, and then it logs you in. Then the next thing is you type in your credential, and then you can see some of the features that you need to see. Of course, one of the things I did not uncheck in my previous video was I have the web mode enabled. Yeah, I don't really care at this point. It's not that I don't really care about it. I'm just basically saying it's not really important to me to uncheck it or check because I basically know it's basically a training. So if you don't need the web, disable it. If you need the web, leave it enabled. But that is not my goal. My goal here is to talk about multi-RAM. To have multi-RAM or to have RAM enabled on your FortiGate, you need to go to your feature visibility on the system and then go to SSL VPN and turn on RAMs. Now, if we expand this, it says you create customized RAM for different SSL VPN user group, and then this is the you associate RAM with user group in the authentication portal, and then that's what you do. Very, very straightforward. So what we're gonna do this time is to create RAM. To create RAM, we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna create the RAM. Oh, sorry, I need to apply the RAM. Okay, great. Now I should have the RAM now. Awesome. So we're going to create the RAM. It's a very straightforward thing. All you need is the URL path. So the URL path, what do you want the URL path to be? It basically is going to be your, what's it called? Your SSL VPN address, which is this URL here, slash whatever path you put in here. So now let's say we just want it to be finance. That will just be the IP address slash finance. So if we click OK, let's create another RAM. Let's call this RAM public. Let's call this RAM student. So first, notice how that RAM says SSL VPN RAM can be accessed using, of course, the IP address slash student. So now click OK. Now the next thing we're going to do is to go to setting, and then of course we have that. Then the next thing we need to do is we come down here. Notice we're having the RAM here. Come down here and then associate a user to a RAM. So the RAM we've created, and then the RAM, in this case, we do not have the portal for finance or the portal for student or public. So we're going to go back, cancel this out. We're going to go back and create a portal for those three. You could use this portal, not that you can use this portal, but what is the essence of using this portal when you're creating RAM? When you're creating RAM, it should have their own portal. So now we're going to do this. We're going to say finance. Why am I using the same name? Because I want to make sure that I know that that RAM belongs to this. So now, when I'm using finance, I do not want to be using SSL VPN tunnel address. I want to have its own IP address. So I'm going to create an IP address. and I'm going to say it's going to be a range. I'm going to call that range finance underscore IP. IP underscore ADDR, whatever. Now, I'm not going to use 10.212. I'm going to use 172.18. No, sorry. That's too close to home. Let's go 192.168.203. I'm going to start from 5. And I'm going to end it at 6. Now you're wondering, why do I just have just 2 IP5 and 6? Because that is the only thing I want to allow in that subnet. You can increase it, you can reduce it, but I'm just assuming in the finance department, it's just 2 people that I want to give access to, because they want to be able to access certain things. I want the CFO to have access, and I want maybe one of the managers, one of the finance managers and managers from the finance department to also have access, but not every other person in the finance department. Every other person in the finance department can have access to other things. So in this case here, this is what I want to use for the finance. Here, click OK. Now, add that to the source address pool. So what that means is that once anybody connects to that particular VPN using the RAM, this is the address range you're going to get, 192.168.203. I'm not going to use web. We can look at web. Web is actually not very, very secure, so let's just ignore the web. Click OK once you're done with that. So we're going to create the next one for public and for students. This is the same step, student. Now my address pool for student is also going to be created. I'm going to use a 10 address. I'm going to say students underscore IP underscore ADDR. I'm going to say 10.100.100.50 to 10.100.100.100. Now you're saying, why am I having 50 IP addresses here? It's a choice. Now, remember, I'm using IP address range, not subnets. Using what? IP address range. Click OK. Select it. Disable the web. Don't need web. Click OK. Now, the last one I'm creating is for public. Create a source IP address pool for the public. It's going to be an IP address range. Do not forget that. Name that public underscore IP underscore address. Now it could be any name you want, but that's what I want to use. Now I'm going to have 10.10.10. I don't know. Let me use 10.50.51.52 to 10.50.51. Okay, let me use the 52.200. Now, that's the range I want to use. That will still work. Click OK. And public. So this is what I have for public. I'm also going to disable the web for public. Now, what if I just want to leave the public having a web? Turn it on. Now, do you want to have the theme to be blue, green? Let me use, this is the green theme. The blue is just going to make it blue, but let me use something else like this. I don't know what color that is going to show us, but we can find out. Click OK. Now, then we go back to the setting. Remember, that was where we were before we jump back to portal, because we were trying to add the portal mapping here, and then when we create, we're going to specify that if you are in finance, you should connect to the finance portal. And then what user group do we want for the finance? Let's say the user group we want to create for finance is also finance. Let me say finance exec or executives. It's my choice. Now, finance executives, then click OK. Now, of course, I do need members. So I'm going to create users, and the users, let's say Jim law is a username. Create the password for gym law, and then it belongs to, because we've already created the group, it belongs to finance executive. Click submit. So Jim Law is a member of finance executive. See that? Very easy. So here we're adding just the finance executive, but we're still creating more user. We're creating one more user because we said we have two executives in finance. Let's say we create I find as the user. Of course, we said it's a member of finance executives. Click that. See, we have fine as a member. Notice if you're over this, you can see the two members now. So I don't need to make any changes here anymore because I already added the group. So that's why we have the group. So click OK. So we have the finance group. Now we're going to create what's it called? Specify the RAM, public, um, public, and then let's say we have a group for the public. Let's call the group public VPN group. Click OK. Um, let's have one user for that group. Some refresh. Now, of course, I forgot to add this. I can go back to the dates and add this as a member of public VPN group. So we do have one group, and when we edit the group, we do not have a member. I think I was trying to use some refresh. So now we do have a member in the group. So we click OK. Actually, why did I want to do that way? I don't really need to do it that way. I was actually, I think it's lost in my thoughts. This is what I was trying to do. In the public group, I was trying to edit this. I don't need to do this. Let me remove this again. Remove this, click OK. I was trying to add Sandra Fresh to be a member of this group. So what I was just basically doing was just like repeating myself twice. Because basically that will still add Sandra Fresh. So yeah, so now Sandra Fresh is a member of public VPN group. Click OK. Now, what other people would normally do in a production environment is to use LDAP. So there's an LDAP documentation here, or there's an LDAP, which if I have the time, I probably will show you how to. Might actually just show you briefly, but before I do that, let me create the last one. I've created a finance group. I've created a public group, and I need the student group. So I'm just going to call this group student. Am I creating a username? Yeah. I'm creating a group called students. Just wondering why I was asked for password. Now the group is called students. You can basically start adding members here. by just choosing any of the member that you want them to be a member of student group. You can actually have somebody, um, Jim Law, who was in finance, also a member of students. Isn't that interesting? Yes, it's possible. You can have IFI, who is a member of finance as well. I don't want to have to, okay. You can have Sandra Fresh, who is a member of public, to be a member of student as well. It's possible that one user can belong to two different groups. Yeah, doesn't really matter. So click OK. Then this time click OK. Notice we have two members already. You can have more than two. Specify the group, the RAM. We're using student RAM. The portal. We're using student portal. And then we'll click OK. Straightforward. So I'm going to apply this. Now, one thing you need to know about using RAM is that when you use RAM, you also need to make sure that it's got a policy. It's got what? A policy. So to do that, what we're going to do is to go back to policy and object. But before we create the policy, let me just quickly show you about the LDAP that I was talking about. For the LDAP server, you just click on LDAP server, you type in the name, the server IP, the CN, the distinguished name, you choose regular, you type in the username and password, test connectivity, and that will just connect you to the LDAP. One of these videos, I'm actually going to show you how to create that. But right now, I'm interested in creating policy for those three RAMs that I have. Now remember that I've created a policy for SSL VPN to internal LAN to server LAN and to the internet as well. So let's say that I want the public to only have access to, let's say, specific device. Let's do that. So here I can say SSL. I don't want to use the word SSL. I can just say VPN public, its choice of naming to um let me send it to server VLAN, but not to a specific. I want to send it to a specific host. Let's just say to let's say DC1, just whatever it's going to. So now I'm gonna say it's coming from it's coming from um the SSL VPN interface. Give me a moment. Yeah, it's coming from SSL VPN interface. Then it's going to be going to my server VLAN, but this time around I'm going to be specifying single device. So I'm going to say if it's coming from my SSL VPN, but this is, don't forget, this is the public one. So I do have, remember that, I do have the public address. So I'm saying, okay, you're coming from this address. And then of course, we do have the group for public, which is this group. And then destination, it's going to go to a specific device in the network, a specific server. Now, I do not have a specific server in the network here. So, but let me say the server I wanted to go to is basically this single device. I can just say, let me see, it's going to be DC1. Um, It's just gonna say, let's say my server, which is 172.17.17 dot what is it again? Let me verify what that is. Yeah, .4. I'm gonna say /32. /32 basically means a single host. A single what? A single host. So click OK. So there we go. So now we can add a destination and call for DC1. Easy, click it, and then we can say we're using anything, any protocol, any services, but no NAT because we're not going to the internet. You only need NAT when you go into to the internet. So in this case here, no NAT. All session, click OK. So now we have the one for the public, which is going to a single device. Now let's create other ones. We can also have the public going to the internet. So let's create a public going to the internet. The public is, let me see the name. I could do it this way. Just right click on this and I do copy. Now some people say, oh, why not use clone reverse? Clone reverse is actually very easy. Clone reverse is basically going to reverse this. I don't want to reverse that. I basically need to use the same way coming from that going to the internet. So I'm going to copy that and then paste this below. So paste this below, open this. So I'm going to call this, I forgot the name again. I'm going to call this public VPN to internet, whatever. So now the outgoing interface this time around is going to be my what? My SD1. You need to watch my other video where I actually set up the SSL VPN. So let me just call this more like a part 2 of my previous video. So I'm basing on the what I've already built on my previous video. So if you are wondering what my SD1 is, I already explained that already in my previous video. So here in the destination is basically going to be all. I explained this all as well. All means any. This time we're going to use NAT because we're going to the internet and we definitely need NAT. So turn this on. Because we copied this, we need to enable the policy. Copy. Now, yes. Elephant in the room. If you watch my previous video, I explained this very well. And you remember what I did? What I did was basically to remove this all and use something temporary. And then when I use something temporary, I came back and then I changed that. So we're going to do that again here. Now, what that was basically saying is that the portal that we created for public, which is this, has split tunnel on. So what do? Turn them off. Click OK. So I think we must have had the same setting for the rest of them as well. So turn the split tunnel off. We do not need split tunnel for finance as well. If we do need split tunnel, yeah, we can leave it for finance. I'm going to show you what to do with that. So click OK. Then we're done with that. Go back to the policy that we just created. The public to internet VPN public was what I have there before. So I'm going to change this name to VPN underscore public, just to make sure that the nomenclature matches. It's just for my own sanity. Click all, click OK, click make sure everything matches. There's services. Now we're good. So we click OK. Notice, boom, it works. So we're going to create finance to the internet. You can do copy paste or you can just create a new one. So we're going to say VPN underscore finance to internet. Incoming interface is my SSL VPN. Outgoing interface is my internet, which is basically my SD1 interface here. Coming from finance, which is basically using this IP address pool. Having this group for yes, for finance executives. Destination, I cannot use all. So let's say it's going to, let me see. I want finance to have access to, um, let's say server VLAN, and let's say IoT VLAN, and let's say management VLAN. Let's say these are the things I want finance to have access to. But remember, we know how many people are in that finance group, so all we don't need NAT for them to have access to that. Turn that off, and then click all session. You can leave it on security event only, but I like to see all sessions. I can see every traffic that is going through it. That's preference, but you know, if it's logging too much, you can just put on security events only. You only see only security events. Now we have that. So the next thing we're gonna do, oh, sorry, I probably mislabeled this. This is actually supposed to supposed to go to the internet. I'm sorry. Okay, the finance is not going to go to the internet. I'm sorry. Finance is basically going to go to local resources. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. This is basically what I was. Finance has a split tunnel enable, so it won't be able to go to the internet. So because if you remember, when I was changing the portal for the finance, I basically left the split tunnel on because I basically wanted to just go to IoT management and server VLAN. Those are the things I wanted to have access to. So that's all you do. So they will be using anybody who is connecting to finance VPN will be using their own home internet to do so. Will also not be using the office internet, but they will still be able to access all those resources that we basically allow them to be able to route to. All right. So now, the next thing or the last thing is create a policy for students. So we're gonna have VPN underscore students. I can't write that. We can just say they go to the internet first. So next time I'm gonna remember. SSL VPN is going to the internet. Oh, did I remember to change the one link for that one? I probably did not remember to do it. I probably will change it again later. But first, let me go back here. Now, SSL VPN, we're using the students. Where is it? Yep, there we go. We're using student group as well. Students group. Yep, there we go. Destination. Um, Destination is going to be all. Services is going to be all since we're going to the internet. So NAT is going to be enabled. Then all sessions, and then click OK. Like I said, I made a mistake for the local resources. I believe, yeah, my interface was wrong. So this is going to inside actually. Inside is the one that will allow me to have access to, because inside have access to, oh, let me see. Does inside have access to all those VLANs? I don't know. If it doesn't, what you can do is you just basically will just create them one by one. Let me see what inside I have access to. Let me just click OK for now. Um, it's been long since I created the interface. So inside zone, it's a zone. So let's see what it has access to. LAN 2. That's not correct. So let's say my inside is let me see, what is my LAN? Port 3. So they are actually in port 3. So my inside zone is going to be, I'm going to add port 3 there. So just to make sure that it matches what I'm trying to achieve. So port 2 and port 3 are going to be members of inside. That will basically do the trick. So that then makes that policy valid for it to be, where is it again? It's the one I keep making mistake on. I believe it should be this one. Okay, so now, yeah, the inside now has a way to get to all this one. All right, so click OK. So I think I've made the correction. So that's why you should watch the video to the very end and subscribe. Okay, now the students have access to the internet now. Let's see. Yep, they have access to the internet, but they need to have access to also the LAN. Let's say, do we want them to have access to the LAN? Let's say yes. So let's just say students, uh, VPN underscore students to, where do I want them to go? Let me just use it on IoT VLAN. So I can just say IoT VLAN. That's all I want them to have access to. So This is coming from my SSL VPN, but this is going to be the source will be student IP address. Of course, the user also will be what? Student group. Now, destination is going to be, I can just choose IoT VLAN address as the destination, which means I don't want them to go anywhere than that. Then services is going to be all known as, because I'm not going to the internet, I'm just going to my local LAN, and then login all session, and clicking OK. All right, so this is all you need to do um, for RAMs. This video is also getting long. I'm trying to keep it short, but now we're going to open the SSL VPN and we're going to connect to RAM. So let's see on our 40 clients. On our 40 clients, we're going to make sure that we add a new connection. Let me copy the URL just to be on the safe spots. Okay. No, we're not making changes to that. So here we're just going to click add, and here you can say Office VPN Finance. The naming helps you to know where you are as well. So slash finance. Because I'm not using a custom port, I can just say without the slash, without the port number there. So finance, and of course, I'm not going to save the user because I have some username. Click save. Then we're going to add another one. Office VPN students. Now paste it. Um, slash students. See, because that's the URL path of the RAM. Click save. Then last one, add. Then Office VPN public. If you're using a custom port, the URL path will come after the custom port like this. That's it. So you just make sure you check the custom port and you're using the custom port. But in my case, I'm not using the custom port. So I'm gonna remove that. Just gonna be like this and simple. Click OK. So now we do have VPN finance, VPN public, VPN students. Very easy. So let's see if we can log into VPN students. For VPN students, we do have a name. Let's see in the policy. That's one of my easy way to actually find it. VPN students, the group, which is this one here. The group has Jim Law and Sandra Fresh. So I'm not going to log in with Jim Law's account. Jim Law. Then I'm going to type in my password, click connect, and then wait for it to connect. See, easy breezy. You basically just notice my IP address 10 100 150. Where do you remember this address from? Let me minimize this. Remember the address that we allow student law to have 10 100 150 to 100. That's the address range. So let me go and jump from student VPN to finance VPN. Jim Law seems to be the same user there. I also have IOFine, but let's use Jim Law just for my sanity. So we're doing for finance. We know Jim Law also works there. Now, remember earlier we got 10, 100, 150. Let's try this. And let's see the address we're going to get. Notice we got 192.168.203.5. That is because we specify each address to each realm. So, and those addresses, according to the policy, which is this one here, according to the policy, are allowed to get to this destination. So that is basically that. So let's test the last one, which is basically the public one. The public has a Sandra Fresh as the user, and the public address is 1050.51.52, which is going to be most likely what I'm going to get. So I'm going to connect to Sandra Fresh, disconnect the VPN, connect to public, and then Sandra Fresh, connect the password, input the password. I hope I put in the password. Okay. Let me put in the password correctly this time. Sandra Fresh. Okay, we'll try the password again. Yep. So now we're waiting to connect. Notice what the address is going to be different. 1050 51 52. That tells me I'm in public VPN. So this is how fun RAM is. So it will give you different IP addresses. If you want, you can use the same IP address, but it also will give you access to specific resources as defined in your firewall rules. So now we've looked at SSL VPN. We've looked at how to create an SSL VPN in my previous video. This is like a continuation. This is basically on SSL VPN Realms, and we created 3 different URL paths. We also go in a FortiGate client, and then we define the path. So we define the path, and then we added different um, VPN. Notice the previous video we only use Office VPN, which has a different URL. Notice the URL doesn't have the slash URL path, and then that's one thing that all this public finance uh, the likes have. Notice that. I told you if you're using the custom ports, check the custom port, put in the port number there, put in the port number here. That basically should just work like magic. And if you're not, you can, and you can choose not to, but it doesn't really matter. It's basically going to still set it up for you the way it is. So that is all that you need to see about SSL VPN RAM. Now, I'm going to encourage you to please like the video, please subscribe, please share this video that I'm creating. They are actually for people who want to develop their skills on Fortinet or FortiGate firewall. And as you can see, I'm basically using a real life firewall. This is the same step you can use when you're using a VM as well. It's just basically the same step. So um, like it, share it to your friends, to your colleagues. Please put the comments if you find this very helpful. That also will encourage me to create more videos. I basically was encouraged by some of the comments I've gotten about the videos I've created. And that's what keep me that's what keep me going. And that's why I keep pushing to create more videos. Um, I'm also going to be creating more videos very soon on Cisco router configuration, Cisco switching, Cisco VLAN, and that kind of networking equipment I can actually get my hands on. Thank you so much for your time, for watching these videos, and for clicking on the likes and clicking on the shares. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.